Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's Nova Software Quality Engineering and Automation Meetup. My name is Jonathan Kaufman, and I'm happy that you have all joined us this evening for what I'm sure will be a great talk. If you've ever joined us in person, you'll know that these meetups are normally held at the FNMA office in Reston, and I've worked with Becky LOVEKING, who is also in this meeting, to host those events. Becky, is there anything that you wanted to say before we kick things off?
Not really. I think I just wanted to maybe just say hi to the Fannie Mae people that are online, and looking forward to when we can have these in person again.
Great. Thank you, Becky. I also had a few other announcements I wanted to go over before we get started. Shouldn't be too long. First, we're always looking for speakers for our meetups. We've been holding these typically at a quarterly cadence, and we probably have a speaker for February, still need to confirm that, but I'm also looking for a speaker for May. So if you have a talk that you'd like to give in that time frame, something you're working on, please let me know. This is a great opportunity to practice speaking, to test out a conference talk idea or a talk you want to give somewhere else, and we just really appreciate you speaking at this meetup. Pass up the opportunity to advertise some upcoming events that Coveros is hosting or will be running. First, we're currently running a virtual conference, Agile plus DevOps East. It has both paid and free options. You can learn more about the conference by visiting a link that I'm going to paste into the chat just now. Coveros is also offering a lot of live virtual training classes during the months of November and December. This is a good opportunity to use any remaining budget you have in 2020 and to prepare yourself for the skills you'll need in 2021. Along those lines, I'd like to include a link to Coveros's live virtual training class schedule, along with a listing of our testing and test automation courses, which will be of particular interest to this audience. With that, that's all the announcements that I had. So I am going to introduce our speaker. Sanjay Kumar has a total of 9+ years of experience with companies such as IBM, Goibibo, Urban Ladder, Inmobi, and Autonoma IQ. He's the inventor and creator of SelectorsHub and ChroPath and is on a mission to make testers and developers' lives easy. Sanjay is not currently working for any company and works only for the community. Sanjay?
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for the great introduction and setting the platform and giving me this opportunity to interact with the community and help them. It is great to interact with you all and sharing my experience and how I think this way to innovate something and helping people across the globe. So innovate to get rid of routine work. So people ask these questions like if I'm not sure like if you guys are already aware about like what I have done in past. So I invented ChroPath and SelectorsHub. Now both the products have been used in across the globe in all the countries, like almost 180 countries, and by millions of the people, and all the developers and testers are getting a lot of time saving and help from these innovations. So how I think this way that to innovate something which can help, and how we can get rid of, why should we get rid of these routine works? Because when we keep doing the routine works, we didn't get time to like learn something new. And if we will not innovate something, if we will keep doing the work in a normal way every day, it is like running on a wheel and we are not getting time to do something else. We feel like we are doing really amazing jobs, really good thing, but actually we are not coming out of this wheel. We are not getting something new. So the main purpose of innovating something, creating something new, is to save time so that we can learn something and so that we evolve and grow in our life in any field, not just software, not just like any field. In every field we innovate something to get to save time. So similar situation we have in our web automation. So you see that if you look at this screen or just if we have to write an XPath or something for any field in our browser, how do we write that? So first we like inspect any element, and just to write an XPath, let me just make sure that it is good visible to you all. Yep. So if we have to write an XPath for any element or something like that here, let's say, so how do we write that? So we do Command F today. Let me show you just where people waste the time. Like we do Command F and then copy this value and start writing over here. And you see, as soon as we start typing, this used to scroll up and down. And then again inspect that element for what we have to write the XPath here, this one, and then paste, type like this manually, and paste, copying that value, inspecting again and again. So that's a like big challenge. It is something like uh, writing code in Notepad in 2020 when we have the innovations like COVID. So this is really like, can you imagine writing code in Notepad I mean, when you have a smart editor like IntelliJ Eclipse? It's really tough and really time consuming. Then I had surveys, like, because there were tools like ChroPath, and we have the Chrome Dev tools as well. You just right click on any element and copy XPath from here. So what is your preference? Like almost 80% people across the globe has voted that they prefer to write their own selector. They don't want to copy it from any tool, like you just right click or copy the XPath of selector. So then I start thinking like, why to I mean, because I have created already ChroPath, which can, from where you can directly copy, or you can copy it from DevTools as well. So but in all this process, but people still prefer that they want to write their own selector. So in this process, people are wasting 80% time, because every time we have to copy from DevTools that attribute value, it used to scroll up and down multiple times, inspect those elements. How can we save the time over here? Then I thought, how does, like in every technology we write the code? So in every technology we have something like a smart editor. Like in Python we have PyCharm. I mean, for every particular technology, for every language, for like JavaScript, we have WebStorm and all the editor, smart editor there. But for selectors, where we waste almost like 80% of our time, like you see that how much on an average, how much time developers and testers waste just to write XPath and CSS selector. Few people say 5 to 10 minutes, because on an average for few elements you would be able to write it like quickly, maybe in just 1 second to, I mean 10-15 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. For some elements it could be like more than an hour also sometimes. So depends, like so on an average people waste like 5 to 10 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes in just writing one selector, sometimes in 1 to 2 minutes. How can this save this time? And there are like a lot of challenges. Like suppose if somebody asks us, like at this situation, in this situation, if you ask me like how many parents, siblings, following siblings, and descendants, ascendants are there for this element, it's tough for a beginner or a newbie to tell that how many following siblings, children, parents, ancestors, descendants are there for this element. I mean, I'm sure like none of us remember like how many I mean siblings we have, like I mean following siblings and all, like in relatives, because there could be many, like my uncle's children, my parental uncle, this and that. So how many cousins we have, it's tough to count immediately. So similarly, like in web also, like it's tough for any web element immediately. If somebody asks like how many following siblings, how many siblings it has, can't tell that. So to solve all these problems, how I thought like, what can we do which can solve this problem and save time for our developers and testers? So here I thought this new idea, a new reality, building our own XPath and CSS selector in just less than 5 seconds without losing any skills, and we can learn more a lot about it. This is innovation inspired automation, SelectorsHub. It is helping people like anything, and just within I launched this on July 29th, and just within 2-3 months it became the #1 tool in all the platform, in all the browsers platform. And this is of course this is a community product and it's absolutely free. There is no license anything required for this one. So, and let me show you how it has solved the problems for the people and how it is saving huge amount of time and helping them to learn something new. Because I'm sure like we don't have any book or anything which can help us to learn more about selectors or XPath or anything, though we have, but what can help us on a daily basis, like when we are working, so at the same time while doing work we can save our time as well as we can learn. So you see here, now as soon as you will start typing, you will get the auto suggest over there, like we get in smart editor. Like when you are typing like code in let's say IntelliJ you are using, when you type the code over there, we start getting the auto functions over there, auto suggested function. Imagine if you are not getting the auto suggested function today in IntelliJ, you will have to do it manually. Can you imagine if you can write a hello program without using an IntelliJ? I mean, so it will be more time consuming recalling those functions and all. So, but today they are saving a huge amount of time. Like if we have to write a like piece of code, big piece of code, imagine how much time it will take without those smart editor. So similarly, like we were wasting a lot of time for these kinds of selectors, writing locators, but with this help of, but we were never having any smart editor. So I will show you how to install and all. You see here, you can just start typing and you will be getting the auto suggest here along with their occurrences. So you need not to waste time in like one by one typing and then it is scrolling up and down, then figure it out how many matching nodes are there and all. And you just open square bracket. I mean, so you just keep typing and you will be getting like an smart editor. It's as simple as that. And a lot of information are there. So you need not to hit and try like for this attribute uh, combination, how many occurrences will be there. It's showing right over there. 1, 15, 0. This is also for learning purpose. Like let's say you ask me this question, can we write the XPath for this using this text? So it's telling that no, 0 occurrences are there. Which kind of function it is XPath. So like this way it helps a lot. And if you want to build your CSS selector, it gives the CSS selectors in order to suggest. And you just open bracket, it will give all the possible options for that. So this is really helpful, really amazing, truly amazing, and incredible idea. You might have never ever, if you have ever written any XPath or CSS selector, you would have never seen such kind of innovation, which helps you like in a smart editor, you just type dot, it will give you that I mean class combinations. If you go here and you inspect any element, you will see that for any website basically you go, it will give all possible options for an element or like element or anything like CSS selector, XPath, everything it gives. And if you want to write an XPath for dot class, you just put the dot over here and you will see that how it has solved this problem. Let me show you how developers and testers are doing it today to write in CSS selector with this class. Believe me guys, just people do like this way, that they copy and paste the value of class, they put the dot, replace the space by dot one by one manually. People are doing this way. I have seen, like I'm sure like if you have ever done this, written the XPath CSS selector by using class, we have done this way, and this is how we have written. But here not anymore, you just put the dot here and it will, I mean, though it is a small utility, but how innovatively we can think of like, okay, because in this world every single thing has been created to save time. Like in fact this Meetup platform, this go meeting is just invented so that like we can save time, we can like talk virtually and we can automate this process. So it has this, even this GoToMeeting tool has uh, automated this process that we will not have to go out, waste time in traveling. We can directly talk virtually and immediately we will save a lot of time. So every tool, every software, everything has been innovated, introduced, thinking that we will save time with this tool. So everything is an innovation, whether it's a software, whether it's a tool, whether it's a product, hardware, everything has been created just to save more time and so that we can learn something new. So similarly here as well, every small features has been invented, keeping that in mind, that which will save our time for us. So this is really helpful. And like I said, that how if you ask me like how many following siblings and anything this element has, so what you do, you just start typing here like this way, and as soon as you type this forward slash, it will start giving the suggestions, following siblings, preceding siblings, anything if it will have, that it will start suggesting. Ancestor, yes, it will start suggesting. So all those things, it made it possible. And you can write the relative XPath and with using ancestors and all. Like for an example, if you ask me to write an XPath for forum with respect to blog, how fast it is with respect to by writing such kind of selectors with the help of selectors hub. You just inspect that element, particular element here. First, so if you ask me to write an XPath for forum with respect to blog here, so what we can do here, /a, then this. So we have written XPath for blog. Now we want to write the XPath for forum with respect to blog. So first we will find out the common parent here for both the elements, like this way. Okay, so we have written the common parent. Now we want to write the XPath for this element, forum. So just inspect that, and you see how quickly we can write it over here. We got this, and there you go. So we have written XPath for forum with respect to blog. Now simply if you ask me write an XPath for forum with respect to docs, you just change this block to docs. Now it is XPath for forum with respect to docs. So this way it is really quick to write XPath and editor, selectors for any element. It also highlight it here. It also like gives the matching node over here. So really amazing, really helpful, saves a huge amount of time. How to install this one? It's very simple. You just go to SelectorsHub.com. From there you can install for any of the browser, whichever you want. So it's so simple. You just come to here, selectors.com, SelectorsHub.com, and here you will see that it is available for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Opera. And in fact, if you go to Chrome Store just for search for CSS selectors as well, it comes on the top. So it's the #1 tool. Misconception we have learned till date. So people, we still think that why to add one more add-on, and we have that misconception that we should not use the XPath tool, but still we have kept using Chrome Dev Tools. Let me show you how many wrong things we have learned till date. And what are the misconceptions? Let's say you are, somebody asked me how many tabs, how many links on this page. How do we do that? Like we right click over here, and you can deny if you didn't agree with this, like what I'm showing over here. So suppose you ask me how many links on this page. How I will do, like people does this /A, because A is an anchor tag, and we try to find out like this way. But here you see that it is showing 80 matching node, but it is also matching with this string /A. So let me tell you guys that dev tools, Chrome dev tools, it's not just for to verify selectors. It also works as to search the string on that DOM. So wherever it will match this /A, it will show you that matching string over there. So it is, so you can see that this is not an anchor tag. Here it is matching /A this string. So that's why it is showing this as a matching node. There are not 80 links on this page. There are like count is different. So this is one misconception we have learned till date, that we can verify, we can find out, like with the double forward slash if we can find out how many matching nodes are there, and for anything like how many span is there, span tag or any selectors. So it works as a search functionality, search element. Then how to write these selectors for SVG? Like if you inspect this element, let's say Twitter icon, SVG vectors. So if you ask me like how to write the, if I ask you guys that how to write the SVG selectors for SVG, XPath for SVG element. If you are not aware, let me tell you that SVG elements doesn't support the standard format of XPath. We cannot write double forward slash SVG. But what we have learned till date, if you right click and copy XPath here, let me paste the value now. This is the value we used to get it from the dev tools, which is wrong. You see that it is showing 0 of 0. And this is not the correct format of writing SVG XPath. This is what we have learned till date. And considering that, we considered that whatever Chrome DevTools gives or browser DevTools gives, that is a standard. No, that's not a standard. Everything could be wrong. Everything is not right in this world. Every tool and everything has its own pros and cons. This is the these are the things we have learned till date, and we thought that that is like a standard, but no, that's wrong. Like it doesn't give always the correct value. Like for an example, let me show you this element. Just inspect this element. It's here. So this input is this search bar. Now suppose you ask me like write the selector for this one. What I will do, like we can do first. Let me just show Chrome DevTools support for them. Copy XPath we have copied, and you see that when we pasted this value, it is showing 0 of 0. Many a times, if someone is beginner, they don't have knowledge of the DOM, good DOM. They don't have knowledge of on selectors much. But in fact, like even if we know that, what we will do, we will write this kind of XPath and looks pretty good only. But it's still showing 0 of 0. And we can also write like selectors, like let's say hashtag input, but still it is 0 of 0 it's showing. Because this element is inside shadow DOM, I will explain that how it came here. So you see that it is inside shadow root open. So this element is inside shadow DOM. So for such elements, XPath doesn't support. So first of all, it should not give this XPath option. It should not give this XPath. It should tell that this element is inside shadow DOM. We cannot write the XPath for shadow DOM. So there are like this way, there are like a lot of misconceptions. And recently I did one survey, like which selector we can write for shadow DOM. So here, if you see that which selector can work for shadow DOM elements, this was the question. I put it on LinkedIn, Twitter, and everywhere. And you see that only 15% people have given the right answer. 85% people has that misconception because of using Chrome DevTools, considering that as a standard. They said that yes, XPath can be written. And you see that these three options are XPath here. One is only CSS selector. And there were no tool in the world till today which can help us to verify selectors for shadow DOM elements, and which can tell that this element is inside shadow DOM. There was nothing was there. SelectorsHub is the very first and only tool which has made it possible to verify the selectors for shadow DOM elements. For that, what you will have to do, you just open SelectorsHub. Immediately, it will tell you that this element is inside shadow DOM, and you would be able to verify the selectors for shadow DOM element. Let me show you how. So for this element, you just open SelectorsHub. Immediately it tells you that this element is inside shadow DOM. So now you learned that, okay, if any element is inside shadow DOM, this is how it will show. And how to get to know, like looking at DOM, whether this is inside shadow or not. So you can see that it will be always inside shadow root. If it is inside shadow root, That means this element is inside served DOM. And we cannot write XPath for this such elements. So here you start typing CSS selector. So that way you can write the XPath for them, CSS selector for them, sorry. And if you want to write with ID, so you see that it made possible. Earlier, how people were doing, they were just like hit and trial. They think, okay, this selector could work. They put that selector in their script, execute this script, check whether the script is working or not. If not working, then add, try it again. And believe me, guys, like sometimes people take one day just to write a small test case of login functionality if elements are inside shutdown, and they were never able to verify immediately. And now that selectors have made it possible, just in few seconds you can verify your own selector. And if you type something wrong, let's say you copied this XPath, right click and copy XPath value here, and you put that here in SelectorsHub. It will help you with the proper error message. It will give you that XPath doesn't support shutdown. So you learn that, okay, XPath doesn't support, so we will have to write the CSS selector only. And that way you can build your own CSS selector and learn about that. So this is really helpful. Then question comes, can someone tell me what's wrong in my selector? Are you really mad? Why we not ever thought to innovate something which can help us, like what's wrong in our selector, which can tell us? Because like in IntelliJ, you remember that we used to have those things like in I mean, if we were having those things in in any smart editor, we used to have such things that immediately that it used to show that error bulb and error message over there that this is something wrong in your selector. This is wrong in the coding, like colon is missing, semicolon is missing, quote is missing, right? But that we were never having in our dev tools for selectors. Suppose we have written an XPath. Let me just write an XPath here for this element. We have written this XPath, okay? But when we copy this XPath and paste it here in DOM over here, suppose while pasting we miss something, or while writing we miss something, it will show 0 or 0, but it's not showing that something got missed in your XPath, right? Like what's wrong in my XPath? Can somebody tell me? Now, yes, if anything is missing in your XPath, SelectorsHub will tell you what is missing in your XPath, like in Smart Editor. You see that? So this is the new innovation. This is the very first compiler or editor which you can say for selectors, which will help you while debugging, while verifying your selectors, and will tell you the proper error message, like what's wrong in your selector, what is missing, let's say. So immediately you can fix that. And this is very small XPath we have written. Imagine if it is a something like long XPath, like we have written it for forum with respect to blogs, and in those scenarios it is really tough to figure it out, like there is something missing in our selector. Then if you do something wrong, it will tell you that what is allowed or what is not allowed. It helps you to learn, to become a master in that. So it is really helpful. Everything it will tell you that, okay, this is wrong, you are doing this is not wrong. And about SVG element, SelectorsHub will immediately tells you when you start typing, it will give you the proper format of SVG element. You see that // local name SVG. So this is the correct format, and it also supports indexes. So if you're not able to make it unique, what you do, you put the cursor in the beginning. It will suggest you XPath with the indexes, and that's how you make it unique. And if you do anything wrong here, like let me just show you what XPath DevTools gives. If you paste that XPath here, it will tell you that this is invalid SVG XPath format. So this helps you a lot and make you perfect writing the selectors. You see that it is telling you the invalid SVG XPath format. And you can also, like here, you can click and learn more about it. It will take you to the okay, so when a screen is shared, it's not opening. So you can open this page and learn more about the selectors as well. So this way it helps you, like if anything is missing, what is possible, what is not possible, to learn more about the selectors. But we didn't stop here. Then people ask, like, can we have the auto-generated selectors as well? which can saves a huge, which can saves more time for us. Not every time we want to write the selectors. So yes, it helps with the, there are more things here which will help you with more and will saves a huge amount of time, because many times also we doesn't want to write and waste time to write again and again is XPath for the small element. So here it is. It will just in single click, within a second, it will generate select all possible selector for any element. You see, just turn it on and there you go, boom. You see that all possible selector for the inspected element, and these selectors, you see that relative CSS selector, relative XPath, it gives like what a normal human can write, that it will write immediately just in single click. And if you scroll up and down, you will see all possible selectors, relative CSS selector. This is amazing feature. You see what a normal people can write a selector for any element. It will always give the better CSS selectors for that. I mean, it's very robust, very optimized. If I show you more example here, that like where it comes with a like proper relative CSS selector example. So there are like, if you anytime if you copy XPath or CSS selector, what you get it from DevTools and compare with what SelectorsHub gives, is always way better. You just open SelectorsHub. You see that here in the DOM, you see this element, this is the element, and it is directly connecting this child to this parent. You see it is elapsing these in between parent, which are not the unique. And why it is not the unique, let me show you. And you see here how optimized relative XPath and relative CSS selector it has generated. If you write XPath here, CSS selector, you see nothing is unique here. Like there are placeholder 5 elements is matching. That is the region it is creating with the parent child to that parent relation, and giving you the robust unique CSS selector as well as XPath. And if you have any XPath you have written, suppose for any element, let me just copy this value, and you can click to copy anywhere here. Let me just inspect this password field once again. And suppose you have copied this XPath from here and paste it here. You see that this is the XPath which suppose you have written, and you want to get to know about, like you want the better XPath for your field, and you don't know how to write that. You just paste that here and then press enter. It will always give the better XPath, better selector for your element. You see that for this element, for this selector, this is the relative CSS selector, SelectorsHub giving. So in place of using this kind of absolute XPath, which is very fragile and immediately it will change, you got this one. You use this selector in your script. So this is really amazing feature which SelectorsHub has. It already automatically suggests. And then you have the options like to generate selectors with your own choice over here. Like it is generating, if you find that it is generating with some particular element, like it's text it is generating, you doesn't want with text, you uncheck this text box. If it is generating with ID, you doesn't want, and it also helps that ID looks dynamic, you doesn't want to generate with that, you uncheck that. So all that options are there. You doesn't want to generate with class, you uncheck that. And taking it next step further, if you want, like we can copy this XPath in, and you use your script in your script, but still we have to write that command driver dot find element, right, again and again, and then by dot XPath over here, right? I'm sure like many of you does this, have done this way, something like this. So you ask me, no, we don't want to type this command again and again. So yes, this gives the auto-generated code as well. What you do, you click on this, and whatever command you have in your code, so that you paste that command over here, and wherever XPath is written in your command, replace that with XPath value. This is just one-time effort. Everything it saves in local, and you press enter. You see that it has generated the command. And for respective selector, it will automatically, it is smart enough to understand what that could be. Like this is CSS selector, this comes with XPath, this with ID, class name. And next time when, if you don't need to worry about that every time I will have to type that command. Next time when you will open SelectorsHub, it will open with your settings. You see that we have this setting on and this is there. At any point of time you doesn't want to use this feature, you can click it again, it will not show you, it will not append that command. And next time when you will open SelectorsHub, it will open with this view. You can, this is the only innovation which allow you to set your UI user interface as per your choice. You doesn't want to see this filter thing, turn it off. You doesn't want to see this auto generated selectors, you can turn it off. And you just go with a simple one. So this is really helpful, really time saving, really amazing. And there is more. Many people ask that no, we doesn't want to like even open SelectorsHub tab. Okay, what to do then in that case? Yes, you can just right click on this element and directly from there, direct from the context menu, you can copy relative XPath, relative CSS selector, JSPath, absolute path, anything. And again, like this is also, this is so amazing. Like you just right click and copy the value and paste it here. You see that here, if I show you what we have copied from there, you just paste that and there you go. So this is really amazing. You need not to even open SelectorsHub or Chrome DevTools. You copy directly from there. See, and now if you ask me that what is more there, so many people doesn't want all the options here like copy relative XPath, relative CSS selector, JSPath, absolute XPath, right? Again, this has been taken care, like thinking next step always is a user perspective and what could be innovative, because not everybody wants the all kinds of selectors like XPath, CSS selector, JSPath, absolute XPath. Many people doesn't want, testers doesn't want JSPath. So you can customize this as well. So you see here, right now it is showing all the options. You can turn it off, whichever option you doesn't want. Now if you right click and see, it will only show whatever you have checked over there. So now you can just copy relative CSS like XPath from there. And it will also improve the performance because it is not generating a selector. And if you doesn't want in context menu, you can turn it off, because many people doesn't like to get one more option over here. And you just simply turn it off. So this is really amazing. I would request you all, this is a community product and it has been innovated just for them and absolutely free. I would request you all, if you feel this is good, this is something really helpful for our community, our developers, testers, and save time for them, please do share with the community. And if you have any testing blog or anything, there you can mention and share with the community and let everybody help with this new innovation and inspire them. If you have any review, please do add your review on this SelectorsHub tab. And like you can add your review here. This will really motivate me and help others to understand about this product. You can click over here and it will also show you here. You can also read what people are saying here in Chrome DevTools. So you can see that you can read the review, what users are saying. And you see that it is 5-star rated product in Chrome DevTools. Yeah, this is absolutely free. I request you guys, please, if you feel that this is helpful for you and you can make a small donation, even a coffee cost per month, that will be great for me. You can be a patron over here. And this is absolutely free product for the community. And if you feel that it is saving time, it can save time for you. So you can be a patron. You can anytime you can check out my per month income right now, because I'm not working for any company. I'm working full time for the community. And with that, huge thanks to all of you for joining, and big round of applause. And thank you, Jonathan, for giving me this opportunity to interact with you guys. And this is such a great platform to help everyone with that, thank you so much, guys. And you can reach out to me, follow me over here in Twitter and LinkedIn. And if now it's all over to you guys, you can ask me if you have any question, any doubt. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sanjay. This was a great talk. I appreciate you sharing this tool with us. I thought it seemed like a really helpful tool, and I'm sure I could have used this many times when I was developing automation scripts. So really appreciate it. Some questions are in the chat. One person just asked if it's open source or commercial, but you already answered that. This is in fact an open source tool, but if, like Sanjay said, if you find it's helpful, you can of course donate to the project. Another question somebody had was, they asked, will this be helpful for Angular components or widgets?
Yes. So this get, like, you keep reading the question. I'm not looking at that window so that I can help with the answers and show them. So yes, it works for the Angular applications as well. So this is on angular.io. If you inspect this, so you see here, like there's an Angular application. There will be like these kinds of node. So you just open SelectorsHub. You will find all the, it will generate the selectors for them. So it's a very simple funda. If SelectorsHub works for all the technologies, for every language, like or any automation API like Selenium with Python, Selenium with Ruby, everything it works. It generates, and no matter in what technology your web application has been developed, whether it is on React, Angular, or anything. So if your element is available in the DOM and you are able to write the XPath or selector for your element manually, then it will generate selector for that, if that is available in the DOM, and it will help you with everything. Like if you inspect anything which is not possible, for which not possible, you see that you will always get that this is a comment and selectors can't be generated for comment. So every possible things it will tell you, like anything which is not possible, anything which is possible, everything it gives you. And in fact, like there are situations where we can't write the selectors, like for shadow DOM elements, or as means pseudo elements, shadow DOM elements. There are two types of shadow DOM, open and closed. So let me show you that this element is like closed inside closed. So for closed shadow DOM, it's we cannot write because we cannot access the closed shadow DOM. So in that case, it will help you that this element is inside closed shadow DOM, which is inaccessible. So that also it helps. It also helps with the like iframe as well. So you see that it also generate XPath for iframe. It supports iframe frames, and not just the XPath for the element which you have inspected, also gives the XPath for the iframe. So you need not to write the XPath for iframe as well, inside which you have to switch. So you got everything just in single click. You got the XPath for this element. You got the XPath for the iframe as well, inside which this is. So this is really incredible, really amazing, and it saves a huge amount of time. You see. So yes, it supports Angular application. Over to you, Jonathan.
Excellent, thank you. I don't see any other questions in the chat right now. Does anyone have any additional questions?
Thank you all. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you everyone for attending this evening. Really appreciate you coming out and learning about this and supporting Sanjay in his efforts to make writing locators more efficient. This recording is going to be published. I'll share the link with this meetup group after that's done. Again, I appreciate you all being here and hope to see you all at a future meetup. Thank you again for coming.